Hey everybody, welcome again. Welcome to Dating God's Way on the night, good old Tuesday night. Hey, daughter Kanish.
Hey, Niche. Hey,
Hey, hey,
Porter.
daughter Chatter. Getting a little started a little later on tonight. Had some things to do, but we on and popping. Try not to waste too much time because I feel like I need to go to bed.
Go ahead. That's Sleep Vessel.
Yep.
It's on you.
Just like we did last week, just like we did icebreaker. Before we get into our topic, hey, um, culture tags have um, culture tags. My sister Unique Jones Gibson. Hey, Unique, if you're out there,
Hey, hey.
um, she created this game Culture Tags, and it has expansion packs. This expansion pack is storytelling. So, Pastor E, I'm gonna give you three.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm gonna give us three. You
Okay.
watching online, I'm gonna give you three.
Okay.
Things you say when you are storytelling.
Things you say when you are storytelling. Okay.
Ha. PTAT.
PTAT.
This is when you're telling a story and somebody has to put
Go ahead.
somebody has to
Oh, she said, please tell all the truth. That's what Tara said.
nope,
People talk.
nope. They have to take these things and add them up. They take one thing and then take another one thing,
What is it, Dave?
put two and two together.
Put two and two together. Okay. Okay. That was cute. Put
That
two
was
and
cute.
two together. Somebody said plot. Go ahead, please. Plot. We was getting all the words wrong. Okay. Okay. Another one
Okay.
right quick before we get into our subject tonight.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, this one easy.
PBP.
PBP.
Please be.
This is you say this one with some attitude, and it's kind of um you when you kind of like just get to the end of it. When you kind of just really just getting to the end. Now, not people be playing, not that one. It's when, it's when you just get to the end of it. Ah,
Point blank, period.
point blank. Period.
My brain might be too late for this, Pastor.
Yeah, your brain is not working. You
No, my brain been winning all day. It's got too much going on.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. All right, one more.
Oh, one more. Okay.
One more. Okay, I say this a lot,
Okay.
and
CTO.
I always say this. What precedes this is always, yo,
Check this out.
yes, all right,
Whew.
awesome, good job.
Whew. Whew.
Do it for the
Let's
culture,
talk about the night.
man. Culture tags. All right, so tonight's topic, tit for tat. So there are times in relationships where one half of the relationship may do something off schedule
Ah.
or may say something out of bounds
Oh.
or do something really hurtful.
Oh.
And based off the experience or the pain or whatever happened,
Mm-hmm.
maybe the other spouse says, since you did this, and then they don't say it out loud, but in their head and in their mind and in their heart, oh, since you got away with this, I'm gonna do this. So since you went out to spend $100 outside of the budget, then I'm gonna go spend money outside of our budget too. Tit for tat.
Tip for tat.
So tit for tat. Is it good? Is it healthy? Is it bad? Is it should it be avoidable? Can it be avoidable?
Tit for tat.
Tit for tat. It's a lot of it's a whole lot of tit for tat happening. You said, you did
Hmm.
it first. So I'm gonna do a second.
Yeah. Yeah, tit for tat, tit for tat is rough in relationships because I think tit for tat comes up. Niche said it's toxic.
Yeah, she just
Hey,
went to the end.
Elder Money. Hey,
Hey, Elder Monty.
hey, Elder Money.
No, Pastor Monty. Pastor Monty. Hey,
Pastor
Pastor.
Money. Hey. You know what? Tit for tat, I mean, it really gets, I mean, I think that particularly I think in some relationships, I've seen people withhold things using tit for tat.
Yeah.
Like, they're gonna withhold affection from their partner if they don't do certain things, or it's just, it can get very dangerous in a relationship, tit for tat.
Yeah.
And I do think that it's a real big caution, because tit for tat too, I think can get you into a space where you can get out of respect for each other. You can start to lose that respect or start to respond in a way that's disrespectful because of your belief of, you need to, do something because your partner didn't do something. I mean, it gets just like real petty, like they didn't take out the trash, they ain't wash the dishes, they didn't do this, do that. But now I ain't gonna be intimate with them. I mean, it gets to levels, y'all, with these relationships.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like this definition says, the tit for tat mentality indicates that we are suffering from emotional dependency.
Whoa. Whoa. Emotional dependency?
Emotional dependency.
Wow.
It goes on to say that this is the kernel of truth. We end up being highly reactive to our partner because he or she is too important to us.
Yeah.
Wow. We depend on our partner's approval, validation, and behavior for our security, prestige, self-esteem, and happiness. Woo! That's a lot to put on a partner.
That's a lot to put on a partner. So is this saying that tit for tat really is built or is coming out of that it's coming out of this, I guess, like insecurity, or is it coming out of that person's own emotional instability?
Yeah, I think it's
Wow.
coming out of that person's emotional immaturity.
Emotional immaturity. Wow.
Mm,
Yeah. Tit for tat. Hmm.
wow.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I guess, one thing that comes up, I think, for some people is they get into a tit for tat space because they feel like their partner isn't meeting their expectations.
Mm,
Right?
hmm.
Like I've heard of stories of people getting in this space within relationships because they expected one thing and they're getting something else.
Mm.
So I'm wondering, what could be lacking to maybe get to the tit for tat space instead
Oh,
of actually dealing with it? What's that?
wow. No, I'm reading this other question just based on, and we're going to get into that. We're going to get into your question or your answers. But this other question says, so what do you do when your partner won't pull their weight?
Oh, oh, okay.
That's why I said, well,
So you were actually reading the question that was asking the thing I was asking.
yeah.
It's asking, but it's saying the thing. What do you do when your partner will not pull their weight?
Woo,
Man, this is a rough question for the night, y'all.
woo,
Oh my.
woo.
Oh, when your partner won't pull their weight, like what do you do?
What do
Without,
you
how
do?
can you
Oh,
not
sorry.
get tit for tat when
I
like
don't, I don't went to the 90s. What did you do?
when somebody is not when someone is not doing what they should do, how do you? I mean, I think that is a good question. I think it is a good question.
Yeah, yeah. When they're not pulling their weight, that's tough.
That is tough.
So so give me an example of what the weights could be though.
I mean, I would say that I think that the weight
Hey Rob.
hey, hey, the weight could be paying bills. Like the person is not contributing to the household. They like spending money on everything, and then you left with all the bills and all the things. I think it could also be, hey cousin, it could also be like that person not putting any emotional energy into the relationship. Like you the person that's working, like doing the date nights, trying to be affectionate. I think it could be a lot of weight not being pulled in a relationship, unfortunately.
Wow.
A person not showing up emotionally, not showing up. I mean, they're not. I think those things can be very challenging.
Yeah. Oh, Pastor Monty said it can be challenging when they're deliberately not pulling their weight
Oh, and
financially.
I see now, I do see cousin here is that's what he's
Yeah,
exactly saying. The things that
man.
I was saying, I didn't even see his comment. Yeah. Um, so like, yeah, so when you realize your partner isn't doing anything to help out around the house, is what's being stated. It's like not helping with the household, you know, you can find yourself in a space holding back from like buying flowers or date nights or whatever,
Hmm.
because one partner feels like they're carrying a lot of the weight and the other partner is now not showing up.
Wow.
And I think this is, I mean, you've really gotten into something tonight, Pastor Will, that it's a challenge. How do you start to how do you get in a place that's not tit for tat when you may feel like you're in it alone?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can imagine like you're supposed to be the bigger person,
Yeah.
but being a bigger person becomes a challenge when you always the bigger person.
Oh, yes. When you always have to be the bigger person, that is a challenge, right?
Yeah.
Um, and so what are some things that we can get into then? I think, because this is a little bit different than just you a petty person. That's different than that.
Yeah.
When we first started this conversation about tit for tat, we're talking about petty people who just like, if you do something to me, I'm doing it back. Forget about
Right.
it.
Right.
That's,
Right.
emotional, what you call it, immaturity and things like that. But now
Yeah.
we're talking about when there's an actual issue.
Yeah. Get this what Matthew 42 tells us, right?
Oh, okay. Matthew, what in 42?
Matthew 5 and 42.
That's right.
All right.
Uh-huh.
Matthew 5:42 tells us that give. Oh, let me start at 41.
Okay.
If anyone forces you to go 1 mile, go with them 2 miles.
Mm.
Give to the one who asks you, and do not turn away from the one who wants to borrow from you.
Uh-oh.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is kind of telling us to live above tit for tat.
Mm. Cha. So you saying that this scripture is telling us to give to the one who is asking. Oh, wow. I'm just reading it.
Yeah. And do not turn away from the one who wants
So
to.
go beyond yourself.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Man.
Ooh.
Because this scripture is about eye for eye, two for two, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's supposed to be telling you to resist someone that you want to be on get back time on. But I think the hard thing about this though,
Mm-hmm.
in context, right? It's like just talking about a person that does you wrong. right?
Yeah.
But in context, talking about somebody who does you wrong, but the person that's doing you wrong could be your spouse or the person you're in a relationship with.
Man,
Yikes. I mean, that is rough.
that is real rough.
And I think, when we get into this, I think having a heart like this, I think you have to figure out, when you get into vows and agreements that you've made with your partner, how to get to a place of agreement, reconciliation, where you're not into petty places. In other words, like you've done all that you can do
Mhm.
and you're not in a tit for tat space, even if the other person isn't doing their part, so that if things do come to a place that is not, where one person decides they can't do or whatever, it's not because of the believer in the relationship.
Yeah, that's right, Rob. I agree with you. At the end of the day, you're going to be judged for your actions,
That's it. That's
and not
exactly.
what your partner did. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. And so I think that is key, is doing everything we can do to, keep, as they would say back in the day, keep our side of the street clean.
I like that.
Right? Like do everything we can do to keep our side of the street clean, because instead of going for tit for tat, where now we're gonna get dirt all over our side of the street and we're just as wrong as our partner.
Yeah.
Because
So,
sometimes the partner is wrong.
I mean, so my job to you is to love you unconditionally,
That's it.
no matter what.
Yeah.
And love has no revenge, right?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean, and I know in our hearts and minds we think, okay, so tit for tat, this is the right thing to do, to show you that you hurt me, or to show you what you're doing, to show you all the things that you did to me. See, I'm gonna do it back to you. But who says that that's an effective way of communicating reality? Because the other person can be like, go for it, that don't bother me, you good.
Yeah. Yeah. That person could let you wallow in your own foolery. So at the end of the day, you're still going to be judged for that and you're still going to be responsible for it. I mean,
Yeah.
I do think that showing kindness is important, right? Kindness is important. And I think that love and unconditional love and showing kindness, like, but where does responsibility and accountability come in at, Pastor?
Yeah.
Because doesn't that have to be a part of this conversation? Don't you think?
It has to be a part of every conversation.
At some point, you have to have a conversation that leads to joint responsibility and accountability.
Yeah. I mean,
You gotta keep your side of the street clean, but also you do have to ask the person to show up on their side of the street. Don't just go to the street three houses down.
we used to do some petty tit for tats. They were petty.
Oh yes.
Thank God for deliverance.
I mean, look, we had a lot of things that oh, laugh at yourself. We had a lot of things that we had a lot of expectations.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that's the first thing that you really have to check is
Yeah.
expectations.
No, Terry, you in grown folk business.
Expectations. If you have big if you have big expectations of your partner, that's comes sometimes when you can get into trouble.
Yeah.
And I think we had some unspoken expectations.
Hmm.
Would you agree with that?
I definitely agree with that.
We
I
had some
def-
unspoken expectations.
yeah. I mean, we can't. We both had moments, even as we grew into a mature relationship, we still had moments of spoilality on both sides.
Oh yeah, for sure. We wanted to have our way.
Yep.
And we got, I would give us the excuse that we got married young. I would give us that. But I will admit tonight that you and I both, were used to getting our way. I was, super independent when we came in, and you also were very spoiled for sure.
What's going on with your microphone? You like bumping up on rubbing or something and scratching like.
I don't know, Pastor. I messed up tonight. I didn't set up my whole setup.
Okay. So no, don't move up. You something just keep rubbing against your mic.
Is it better now?
Yes. I mean, I can hear you, but something just
okay, I got it. Is that better?
Yeah. Okay.
I have you. Look at me. I have you. Yeah. And so I do think we came into our relationship with some of those things that we had expectations of, our individual expectations of how somebody should treat me.
Yeah.
What I expect from, how we were treated before.
Yeah.
We both had center of attention issues.
Expectations are
David, you know now. Start going over your head. David is agreeing very hard.
Oh boy.
Which he should not be, because he definitely has center of attention issues.
he ain't going for business. But expectations are really battle tested. They are grown, and then they are battle tested.
Yeah.
And
that's right. Yeah. And so expectations, I think, we talk about expectations, but also we had then expectations without clear communication too about different areas. I think what we had good communication was like the house. You just knew what that was. You might not like it all the time, but you knew the answer. Right? Like we was clear about that. I think we had clear communication around the boys for the most part. But the place where we got sticky at, I think, is, all of the things at once.
Yeah. Prioritizing.
Yeah. And that is the place where we could have had better communication.
Agreed.
That's when we got it for tit for tat, for sure.
Yeah.
Agreed. When the expectations around where you gonna be at for how long. Okay, I know you like doing all the things, but like how long you gonna be doing all the things? Those are spaces I think where we could go into, where, now I'm gonna fake like I'm asleep. You know what I'm saying? Those are, I think issues that partners really do get into, that it is good to hear, like, coming out of some of them petty ways.
But one of the things that COVID did, it made you it made you come into a realization of some of the things that you thought you needed. Shut down made you realize you didn't need half the things you thought you needed.
That's true. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, a lot of things that, I agree with that. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's true. But I also think that it also, makes you look at maybe for some people, when it lifted and people were able to go back out, you could then see where priorities really were.
Yeah.
And some people went just right back to where things were. And so I do think that, expectations, but also like priorities is important in a relationship, to talk about what the priority is from a financial perspective, what the priority is from an emotional perspective. Like, how much do you expect of your partner?
Yeah, that's If I find you hit it, and Rob just hit it, that you know finances play big on expectations. This is the income and this is the outgo,
Yeah.
and this is where our money should go versus where it's going now. And what's important, do did you really need to take $150 to go buy the shoes or whatever? And so when those expectations are not communicated, um, your relationship goals is hard to meet.
Yeah. 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 I mean, for the most part, we haven't had a finance expectation hasn't been an issue with us per se. I would say though that one of the things that you when you come up to, like, I think financial issues is setting the lifestyle expectation early.
Finance issues ain't never come up because I'm always broke.
Correct. That's your frame of mind for everything.
I ain't got it.
You never have it.
Somebody called me tonight and asked me for some money. No, I ain't sorry.
You ain't got it. You ain't got it.
Not for this. Not for impromptu. Not like this.
No, we're going to Africa lifestyle.
Yeah, I mean, like, wow. You just wow.
I mean, at the end of the day, it is expectation, because if you don't set those lifestyle expectations with your partner, that partner will always be doing something that compromises agreements that you guys have made.
Yeah.
If you're not clear about what the expectations is, relationships too. I think, talk about tit for tat, I do, we haven't had problems with like people trying to get with us or nothing like that. Really, not really. I only had to cut a few people in our marriage time, but for the most part, that hasn't been an issue. But other relationships, I do think, in talking about how we relate to certain people or ministry or things like that, they're just things you have to talk through with your spouse, with your partner, so that you're not getting in a tit for tat space, right?
I think you need to you bumping on something, and I'm gonna go this way with it.
Go.
You need to know the places where your partner is broken.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
You need to know if your partner if they a flirt, then you need to address that broken part.
That's correct. And this not applicable to Pastor E, because I'm not a flirt. But yes, that's right. I just want to be clear.
Let's be honest and say, you know what? We need to go to God for this, because you have a problem.
You have a problem.
Your eye wanders. You have a wandering eye problem, and
that's correct.
I think you have to be quite real with that.
Yes, you look too much. You looking down somebody's dress. Every time you look around, you looking at somebody's butt. Yes, it need to be addressed.
Need to be addressed.
And I think the lack of those conversations lead us to places where now we do get into tit for tat, because it's like, oh, every time we go around this, you doing that, but you never actually address it. And that's why tit for tat get toxic, because you don't address things head on.
No, you're not showing me no attention, so I'm gonna wear this when we going out now, so I can get somebody else and give me some, so you can see how much attention I can garner.
Yeah,
tit for tat, just
tit for tat. That one really burned me up. That one burned me up. Now she got her boobs out, her butt out. I mean, it's like, child, now with this down here now. And so, yes, you need to know where your partner is broken, right? Yeah. You need to know where your partner is broken. Because, it's like sometimes you can help heal, you can help mend the broken pieces. But sometimes your partner, as Chanel is saying, need to go on to therapy and deal with that mama trauma, dad trauma, need to
Wow.
go childhood issues,
Yeah.
molestation, rape, all this. They need to go to somebody that is a professional that can deal with these things, because I ain't the one. The spouse ain't always the one. Somebody need to get in there. Okay. And it might be some deliverance too. It might look be a both fan, the
And
people plus
and
deliverance.
I'm gonna tell you, they're gonna come back and be like, "Well, I got you like this." And you say, "Yeah, but you still a broken mess."
Yeah, you got me like this because I'm willing to love unconditionally, but that don't mean you don't need to go see the people and get that help.
You knew I had a financial issue when you met me. Okay,
No, you ain't never gonna grow out of that.
doesn't mean you don't need. It doesn't need to be fixed.
My king.
Your
Because
destiny.
somebody was willing to love you in your brokenness. Now you're gonna take that brokenness and double down. That's right, crazy.
Yeah. Don't do that.
Double down on the brokenness. Don't double down on the brokenness.
Don't double down on the brokenness. Yeah.
Don't double down on the brokenness. Okay. It's important. Get healed. And that tip of tat though, Pastor, it do go a far way when the individual person is not getting what they need. They will lash out on the spouse.
It's true.
They will lash out on the spouse. They will lash out, when they're not willing to get the help they need. They're not willing to get the counsel that they need. They're not willing to continue to evolve. Let's talk about that one. Because sometimes tit for tat also happens when the spouse is evolving.
Yeah.
When one spouse is evolving and growing, like if you ain't evolved, like we've been married for 10 years and you ain't never evolved, you ain't never evolved, like you still the same person at 25 and 35. You the same person.
I heard, we heard that stuff. I think we repeated it before about many people become millionaires when they hit their 60s.
Yeah.
And if you don't evolve with somebody into their per se that millionaires, if you don't evolve, if you stay in the 4-figure mindset and the 4-figure place and not evolve with that person, that 7-figure type of mindset, then there's some expectations and you're gonna see them. There's some jealousy that can build up.
Sure, resentment.
Some inner judgment that happens.
Bitterness.
Oh, you doing this, or you leaving me back, or you too much, you going too far. What? Why can't it just be like how it was before?
Yeah, why can't you just stay down here when both of us be down here together?
Yeah.
It's like this, it don't sound right, but this is what tit for tat look like, y'all. That sometimes people just want you to stay on a low level because they're on a low level. They don't really want you to evolve and grow in thinking, grow in mindset. And I do agree with that. That is a big misconception. Right? People saying this is who I am. You need to accept me. No, sometimes you need to grow on up, child, and get healed and evolve. Like your 20-year-old self and your 50-year-old self should not look the same.
Yeah, this is who I am. Okay, so why you like that? Okay, this is who I am. Okay, so what about who you are is right? Why you like that?
Yeah, when at different spaces of our marriage, our capacity had to grow.
Yeah.
When we had children, our capacity had to grow. We became pastors, our capacity had to grow. Right? We got into a space where, our careers grew, our capacity had to grow. Your relational capacity should grow with each stage of your marriage. Right? And in relationships, that is one thing you should be looking for. Like, are we growing together? Or are we growing apart? Because I think many people don't even realize that they're growing apart.
every birthday I look to change.
Yes,
Every
absolutely.
birthday I look for something to change in me. I might even be getting even saltier when I hit 50. I don't know. When I hit 50, maybe I get real salty when I'm 50.
I hope not.
I'm just not
What's salty mean?
I'm just not having it.
Oh no. We had enough of that. Me and David vetoed that.
I don't want that one.
No, we vetoed it.
Yeah, I can. Okay.
Yeah, they got vetoed.
Okay. I'll think of something else to be there.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah. No, nobody wants it. I mean, evolving, changing to a different form. Have it now. Even Brother Dre said, no, he don't want it even. Nope. Evolving. I mean, I think that challenging yourself to grow is a part of also how you stay out of tit for tat. Because it's no room or space to be mad at somebody else if you're also adapting, evolving, progressing. Then you don't have room to be mad at your partner as they are. I think another thing too is I think it's empathy, sympathy, being able to walk in your partner's shoes, being able to sympathize with like they work all day, or being able to sympathize with like they, paying all the bills or they pay most of the bills. I mean, anything. I think empathy and sympathy is a big part of it. Being able to have that compassion for your spouse that helps you to stay out of those toxic places too. You agree with that, Pastor?
Yeah, yes. But we evolve together. Like if we see, not even if you see one evolving, but we both understand that if one when one evolves, or as one is evolving, we are both evolving. We are both coming into destiny.
Yeah. I think I'll share one story. I'm gonna give a story. I think it was different points, and I remember when I was pregnant with David, and I was making a career transition after we had one baby still in diapers and pregnant with another baby. And my job at that time was offering me this opportunity to grow. And we had to have a real conversation with like, what's the answer? Right? I think that sometimes people just go do things and don't consider their spouse. And that's a part of that evolution too, is your partner a part of the evolution discussion? Right. For me, it wasn't just okay, I'm about to go, like this is my moment, I'm waiting my chance. It had to be a discussion of like, yo, this about to mean something. I'm literally had a baby in the boardroom with me having meetings. Like this about to be a whole thing. How you feel about that? Like asking your partner along on your journey with you is one way of evolving together.
I don't even know what I was thinking back then, but I'm sure I probably only saw dollar signs.
Oh, you only saw dollar signs for sure. You wouldn't think about none of that. You was like, you good, you got it. We're gonna figure it out. You was like, you gonna figure it out. It's gonna be amazing. And it turned out great. It did turn out good. It turned out good. But there was some bumps along the way.
Yeah.
Because we had to remember also in a relationship, there are trade-offs. So while it started good, when the boys started getting in school, what happened? We had to have trade-offs. You had to take a turn. And that's how it looks in relationships. You had to take a turn. Like, nope, your turn to go to school. I'm in meetings. Nope, my turn. I got to deny one. That trade-off also is really important in relationships. Learning how to have a trade-off of like, I can't be the only person that is making the sacrifice.
Yeah.
That's another way to get out of tit for tat. One person can't be making all the sacrifices. I mean, But selfishly, I think that is how a lot of relationships look.
Yeah.
It can be the husband or the wife that's can be in that space of always making the sacrifices or being the person that always has to be the bigger person. So I do think that's one way to avoid tit for tat too, is make sure that you're both sacrificing, that you're both giving up something, that you're both sacrificing for one another to evolve. During that time period, one time you used to travel with work, I stayed home with the boys during that time. Then we traded off. I started traveling with work, you stayed home with the boys. Like it was it was trade-offs.
Yeah, now we back to trade it off again. You traveling with work all the time.
Not all the time. David did like this, so I guess it is all the time. But I've just finished homeschooling, so it is a trade-off, right?
Yeah.
It's mom turn.
Have fun.
It's mom turn. Trade-offs, right? But there has to be expectation and communication.
Yeah. Hey, y'all, do y'all got any questions tonight?
Yeah, tip for tat, y'all. How to stay out of it.
Y'all had some good inputs, some good comments.
I loved it. Thank y'all for that tonight.
In the conversation. Any questions?
Yeah.
Because we about to get out of here.
We about to get out of here. My chicken. My chicken weight. My chicken
getting
weight.
cold. That Saudi's getting cold.
No, don't say that.
Okay.
Don't say that. Just got here. Yeah, this was a good topic. I enjoyed tonight's topic. I think it brought up some really good examinations. If you're dating God's way, and or if you're married and dating God's way, I think it's really important to stay out of tit for tat. And you have some good resources tonight that we gave you to stay out of tit for tat, putting the person's needs before yours, having healthy communication, making sure you're healed and not dealing with past issues, and making sure you're evolving with your partner together.
And don't be petty.
Don't be petty.
Don't be petty.
Don't be petty. Don't be petty. Don't be petty.
Hey, man. Well, thank y'all for joining us tonight. Look, I'm not going to do no exit. I'm not going to do no nothing.
Love you guys.
I'm going to just say love you guys. Y'all have a great,
Look, I'm going to say tomorrow if y'all want to come through.
Come on, 4520 Beach Road, Temple Hills, Maryland. Yo, got some exciting announcements coming up. Got some great things happening at the Vic. Hey, come to Temple Hills. That's where we are.
Hey,
man. Love you too, Rob. Man.
Love y'all.
Love you all. You guys are the best. Thank you all so much. All right, E. We out.
We out.
We out.